If you've ever wanted to integrate your Noodle front-end app with the Directus backend, you're in the right place. So in this video, part 2, we've just seen in part 1 how we would create the API key to get the ball rolling. In this video, we're going to look at the function that you're going to need to call your cats into the front end. So I'll just take you through the function. We've already got our API key, which we got in the last episode. So we'll put that in here. This is obviously not the best way to do it. You should never have your API keys in your front end directly, neither in a function nor in a string or anywhere in between. But I'll show you in a future video how we can make this more secure. The purpose of this video is just to be able to make that connection and just to prove that it can be done and to show how easy it is with Noodle. So we've got our API key feeding into a function. What the function is doing is taking that API key, calling the URL of the collection that we have where I've hosted my Directus database with items/cats for the table that we're looking for. It's going to pull that data in. Then once it's pulled the data in, it's going to, once it has all the data, it's going to loop through all of the different results and map what the result is, because the results come through with only the image unique ID that comes from the collection. So we need to make a second call for every image to retrieve the file that goes with that image to get the data of that file. We want to, in the end, get the URL that we can display to the user that will let them view the image and download the image if we need to. So we make a call to the files URL with the picture field of the result, which is the unique ID, with the API key again. And then when it comes back, then we map that to picture URL, a field where we construct the URL directly with the IP of with the address of the hosted Directus database /assets / the file name. And then another really important point is that it slaps on the access token on the end. So this was a ChatGPT generated code. It just does the job it's supposed to do. But obviously, again, you would not have the API token slapped onto the end of every file that you access. That's a bit unsafe for the users who are, and anybody could get the API key and then use it to access your database. So, but this is the only way at the moment to get the image, because we haven't got any specific setup of how we can access images. If you were implementing this, you would have the user authenticate with Directus in Noodle with another function, another API call. And then when they access the image through their authenticated browser, they would be allowed to see the image. But at the moment, I haven't got that set up, so I'm directly sending the access token, the most unsecure possible way to do it, to be able to view the image, even though I'm not authenticated with Directus. But it's a really important point to keep in mind. And then so it returns the cat object that has the new picture URL, and then it outputs that as results. And so what happens when we do that is we get objects that look like this. So who created it, when did they create it, etc. The picture address that was originally in the original result, and then a mapped field string that has the URL directly to the picture. So you can see the address that we constructed plus the actual address of the image, which actually funnily is just the unique ID .jpeg. So maybe we could find a way to include file type, for example, in this, and then just slap the file type on the end, and we wouldn't have to do the second API call to get the picture URL. But anyway, it's a good example of how to do multiple API calls within one integration. And then the access token goes on the end. So that is how we retrieve the data from our Directus database. I'll see you in the next video.